Masters, and as promised, here's your little bit of a practice regime video. It's part one, so what it's going to be is this is going to be quite a simple one just to start off with. Get yourself your focus built up a little bit, etc. before you move on to the next levels. The next level videos will be coming after the UK Open. Right, the first thing I want to say about practicing is it goes along the lines of what I say at the end of every video. You'll only get out of this game what you're prepared to put in. Now if you want a lot out of this game, what you've got to do is you've got to put a lot in. So as what we're talking about here in practice regimes is do it, not professionally, because I know you're not professionals at playing darts, but if you approach it in a structured way, meaning to achieve things, you're going to do a lot better than if you just go into your back bedroom and start flinging darts at the board. If you actually set yourself on a path to achieve something, if you set yourself some goals and you really try hard to achieve those goals, it's going to make you feel better about yourself. It's going to give you more confidence. It's going to make you better at the game. It's going to make you more competitive. And the way to start all that is before you go out to the pub and start playing, or when you are going out to the pub and playing, putting some time in your home, doing some proper practice, structured, and then when you go back to the pub, you'll see a massive difference in yourself. So, the way to practice. This is the way that I recommend you practice. Obviously it's entirely up to yourself. As we say with everything that happens with darts coaching with Dynamite Dave, it's subjective and it's entirely up to you. If you don't want to put the effort in and you don't want to achieve those goals enough, then obviously as long as you're happy playing the way that you play, that's absolutely fantastic. And that's all we're here for, is to play the game and enjoy it. What you will find though is the better that you get at the game, the more you enjoy it, because the more competitive you become and the more chance you have of getting, even in the pub, to those semi-finals or quarter-finals, whereas before you were knocked out in the first round. And it just gives you that sense of achievement, and it just makes things a lot better. Obviously everybody would rather play a game to a good level than a not very good level. So practice. First part of practice is getting your structure right. Number one, as I say, it's all subjective this, but this is the way I do it, is practice in your gear, in your shirt, your trousers, your shoes that you intend to play in. The reason for that is it's a little bit of like a ritual getting ready. So you go into your bedroom, you get your thing, you get your shirt on, you get your pants on, you get your shoes on, and you're actually building a purpose into what you're doing. It's like when you go to work and you put your overalls on. You go into work and you're getting ready to work. You're going into the bedroom and you're getting ready to play darts rather than just flinging them at the board. Then what you do is you come into your room, your practice room, and you do your proper 5-minute warm-up. So basically, like we've said, anywhere in this circle, basically just warming the arm up. Getting that, making sure you're in the right position, nice and relaxed at first. Don't try driving those darts to the board. All you're doing is just plopping them in, getting that arm warmed up, getting these muscles nice and loose. Then after your 5 minutes, what you can do then is start going into your actual serious practice routine. First serious practice routine for me is normally, when I come to the board, bullseyes. Do 4 or 5 visits for bullseyes. Once you've started tightening them up, because this is a good area on the board to see how well your darts, your grouping is, and how well you're tightening them up, is by using the centre. 4 or 5 visits for here, and this is going to be a typical 10 to 15 minute practice session. Then what we do when we've done is 4 to 5 visits on here, or 5 to 6 visits, whichever. What I normally do then is do 5 visits per thing, and it's 20s, 19s, 18s, 17s. Then 20s, 19s, 18s, 17s. And then when you've completed that, what I would then do is, depending on how proficient you are, is go from that onto your next section, which will be your doubles. So if one of your favourite doubles, let's say, because a lot of people it is double 16, so if your favourite double is double 16, you go 3 visits for double 16, 3 visits for double 8, 3 visits for double 4, because you're doing what we call the splitters. So you're doing your splits, and then obviously once you've done your 3 for there, then you can choose. You can go for your 2s and your 1s, which completes it, 3 visits for each, or then you can go, if you want to, for your 20s, your 10s and your 5s. which is another split down. That's another that one. And then what I've done is, once I've done that, because that's all nice and varied, back to the bull again. 5 visits for the bull. And then what you do at the end of every practice session, and this is very, very important, this, is you play a leg. At least one leg. I like to play 2 or 3, but it depends on how much time you've got. If you're on a half an hour session, if you've built yourself up, done the 5, 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour, if you're on the half an hour, you've got plenty of time to do all those. And don't forget, just because you don't hit them doesn't matter. You just do the visits and then move on. Because if you keep hammering and hammering and hammering at something, it's counterproductive. It means that what'll happen is you will become worse at it, not better, if you know what I mean, because you train too hard. So like I say, 4 or 5 visits. If you're doing, let's say, 5 treble 20s, once you've hit 5 treble 20s, then you can move on if you want, because obviously you're becoming more proficient. So if you hit 5 treble 20s in 3 visits, you can move down then to the 19s. Same with the 19s, 18s and 17s. Why do we always put the 17s in? We all know this, don't we? Because of the 51, because it's got that 1 on it. It works out really well for calculating when you're coming down towards the 130s, 120s. So you've got 127, you can take that 1 off, so you know where you're going, etc, etc. I always find that really good. So I always like to do a bit of practice. This one's my favourite one, but I always like to practice on this one and all, which is your 7s, because again your 3 7s are 21 and it takes it off. That's a really nice one to use. That it makes that calculating your finishes that little bit easier. Right, so that's your first practice session. So thanks for watching Darts Coaching with Dynamite Dave, and don't forget, you'll only ever get out of this game what you're prepared to put in. And don't forget, lads and lasses, always, 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 toe to the hockey.